I mean, I knew this year would be 10 million plus for sure. I didn't know it was going to be double that, but I was doing everything as if it had already happened. And that's the whole thing. Like, what kind of leader do I need to be if that's the reality? What kind of money investment, what kind of fractional family office do I need to hire to prepare myself for the investments? I don't have the money yet, but I want to know what's going to happen when it does come, because it is coming.
Welcome to the Prosperity Playground, the podcast where business meets energetics, strategy meets soul, and prosperity becomes inevitable. I'm your host, Anna Lozano, mom, founder, investor, mentor, and energetics in business expert. This is your weekly activation to rewire how you think and feel about wealth, success, and personal power, because it's not about working harder, it's about regulating deeper, aligning stronger, and receiving wider. You don't hustle for your future, you calibrate to your higher self. Join me weekly for high-level conversations with the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders. True prosperity isn't just about money. It's about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth. Welcome to the playground. Let's build your most prosperous life. Welcome back to the Prosperity Playground podcast. Today's conversation is going to stretch the way you think about business, AI, wealth, leadership, and what's actually possible for you right now. Callan Faulkner is the first guest who's back for his second episode, and we're talking about all things AI, identity, frequency, about the energetic capacity required to hold your next level, exactly what she is moving through right now. You get the real, the raw, the authentic glimpse into the most iconic launch that I have ever witnessed online. Callan Faulkner is the founder of the Uncommon Business and one of the most sought after AI coaches in the online business space. She's built a $4 million business in just 18 months with only 7 AI trained employees working less than 40 hours a week. After shutting down her real estate investing and tech consulting businesses to go all in on her obsession with AI, she created the frameworks that now have helped 10,000 plus business owners implement AI to scale faster, increase profits, and get back 10 plus hours a week without adding headcount or burning out. Her methodology blends practical AI systems with energetic alignment, and she's living proof that you can build something so impactful while protecting your time, your energy, and your life outside of work. So just to recap, here we dive into AI employees and what actually means for your business, how to scale faster with less burnout by leveraging intelligence beyond yourself, the real reason most people are struggling with AI, and it's probably not what you're thinking, and how spirituality, self-trust, and connection to something greater than yourself plays a massive role in scaling beyond your wildest dreams. But I also want to share something before you dive in. There is a moment in this episode where I make a bold, audacious, live ask, and I want you to feel what it looks like to go for what you want before you're ready, to speak the vision before it's guaranteed, to ask without shrinking, over-explaining, negotiating your worth, or proving. And one more thing, if you're building a business in 2026 and beyond, you need to be in the rooms where this is being taught. You need to understand how to think, communicate, and operate inside this new landscape, which is why I will say this directly. If you're serious about your next level, you need to be inside A2A, Callan's 12-week program, Automate to Accelerate. So listen up, friends. If you're here for strategy, energetics, expansion, or just permission slips to finally go all in, this episode is going to meet you exactly where you are and definitely stretch you into who you're becoming. It's one of my favorite episodes. Let's dive in. Callan Faulkner, welcome back to the Prosperity Playground, my friend. Holy shit, you are in something right now, which we're going to start with.
We're in it. We are in. What are we in? Anna and I were just off the mic here, just chatting. You know, for people that are listening that have ever been through a launch. So we're in the middle of our launch right now of our 12-week AI program. This is our 5th time doing this. And so we've been, I know I've done the rodeo and I've done a lot of launches in my other businesses. I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. I mean, over the last 10 days, we've trained over 22,000 people.
Holy shit.
Me and my little Notion page, I'm like looking over at Russell Brunson. He's like doing these big challenges with like these big studios and like this whole camera team. I'm like, it's just me and my little computer and my camera and a little sharing my screen. I'm like, I have no production, no assistance, no nothing. And the launch is insane. I mean, we have tripled, well, we'll say like last launch, we've quadrupled our biggest launch ever.
Honestly, I have goosebumps all over my body. So I have recruited my husband, some of his clients, all of my clients, my community to be a part of this launch.
Neighborhood, my pickleball,
my dog, and like my cousin. And this is the most, and listen, I've also been a part of launches from the affiliate side. And I can say, like, this is why, like, before we hit record, I'm like, you ask me, how are you? I'm like, no, my friend, you do not get to ask me how I am. How are you? Because this has been like the most, I would say, successful, iconic, like at least that I have been a part of. And you are so inspiring. And the fact that you're recording literally live with me right now in the middle of the fucking launch says absolutely everything about you. And I just want to really acknowledge that, because when people ask me like, is this really worth it? Is this just going to be the next? I'm like, you need to get your ass in the room for the content. Yes. But for the woman, the leader, the genius that you are, Callan, like, honestly, you are incredible.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. I feel like there's been a lot of quantum leaps in my life of like just going through, and there's a book called The Big Leap. And so he talks about like breaking through this upper limit. And it's like a physiological thing that happens to your body, because we're very close. We're going to have a $10 million launch.
Insane.
I mean, like knowing that we are going to make $10 million in 1 week.
Is
how do you even you don't even know how to like be what do you do what do you do? And then what you do is you hire incredible support coaches, because I actually panic called Amy Porterfield 2 days ago, because I was like, oh, we have a big crew. She's like, oh yeah, happens all the time, no big deal, it's fine. She's just go find the smartest people that you know and just bring them. I'm like, got it. And luckily we've been doing this for so long that we have like the most incredible AI coaches that are in all of our programs. And so we're just like, okay, you, like going through our training, let's go, get in there. And it's been such a joy. Like we are having the most fun, the most adrenaline. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster, and I'm here for it. I'm like, we need all of the recovery that we possibly can.
This is okay. So we're going to start backwards, because obviously AI, your passion, your zone of genius, what you want to talk about, but we're going to talk about where you just led us. So Gay Hendricks of The Big Leap was on the podcast, and we talked about the ceiling that we reach. But what I want to know for you is literally, this has been another quantum leap for you. And the stages that you're being invited onto, the rooms that you're being invited on into, the $10 million launch in 1 week, obviously it took months of prep work. But what have you been doing as a leader, as a founder, to be able literally to hold it all? Because when we're not prepared in our nervous system, in our body, in our mindset, in all of it, to hold this, we will self-sabotage. Yeah. We will lose it all. You know how it goes. So what have you been doing behind the scenes to be able to hold all of this?
Oh my God. I mean, so much. And we've obviously had a lot of beach talks about, connection with creator and our higher self, and even just, my relationship, my partnership with Nicole, and just building this group of girlfriends and friendships. And, it was really funny. Someone was asking like, what has changed? Like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't even believe it. Like, what's different? I'm like, absolutely nothing. Like, really, sure, we are going to get, maybe I invest in a stylist, or I don't know, like, what's a cool thing I could get? Maybe we get the facial, the fancy one. but it's like, I think the last 5 years of my life, especially the last 4 years post divorce, I have had to learn how to fall in love with myself and learn how to be so confident in myself, regardless of my accomplishments, regardless of whether or not I was in a relationship. And I talk about this a lot, but I am so grateful for my divorce because it exposed a lot of my weaknesses. It exposed where I was emotionally not okay.
Yeah.
I had a really deep abandonment wound. I always was looking for someone else to give me that love, give me that approval. And so the last 4 years have been a spiritual journey, a personal development journey of learning to fall in love with myself, learning to, I had a lot of money scarcity. I've always had money scarcity, generational. And I have learned that peace doesn't come when the money's in the account. It comes from trust in yourself. And so I've been working on that the last 3 years of like trusting myself with money and hiring the best team in the world. And I just a couple weeks ago sat down with my team and we were preparing. I was like, I don't know how big this launch is going to be. I don't know if it's now or 10 years from now, but like I'm going to make a lot of money. So I want to have a plan for when it comes in. And so money loves to be taken care of. And I've read Happy Pocket Full of Money over and over again. So a lot of it has been preparing myself emotionally that no matter what happens, nothing changes with me. No matter money is just an energy, it comes and goes, and it's just a reflection of how much value you've created. And so I'm just being rewarded because we are being rewarded, not me. We the value we've created. And then second thing is like surrounding myself with the most incredible humans that have loved me from the moment they met me to now, and it's the same amount of love and there's no difference. And then really understanding the frequency and the energy of money and being prepared for this moment. I know exactly where the money's going to go. We have our, our accounts are set up. We were already pre-preparing for it. I know the investments I'm making. I know the big quantum investments we're making. So we can talk about quantum investments in a second. And I just I've felt ready for this moment.
So the money is like landing now. I mean, of course, you've had successful launches, successful years, but this is a different level. The amount is much bigger. Does it feel the same? Is it just kind of, because exactly what you said. It's like, if you can get to a space internally where that is just a cherry on top, I think that's the space that we're working towards achieving. So now the money's there. Is it the same feeling?
Yeah. I mean, it feels, it was the first launch I did was a 200K launch. And in many ways that felt more intense than this launch.
Yeah.
That was the first, like, I just made $200,000 in 1 month. You move from 10K to 200K. That's like a massive, your body's like,
whoa.
I don't know. Whoa. And then, then I did a 400K launch, same thing, then $1 million launch. Oh my God. And then last time was a $2 million launch. Oh my God. So I've kind of like had almost reps at the adrenaline and the quarters of, and now it almost feels like when I first saw the number go to like, it was like creeping to 6, then it hit 7. I did like 2 nights ago. I was like, that was the one night where I really couldn't sleep. And then now my body's like, but before it was like weeks of like, I had migraines and crazy like body reactions. And now it's almost like, okay, like we've done this before. I will say this one feels different because I have a business mentor and he's scaled many businesses to 500 million to $1 billion.
Yeah.
And he's like, what you just did is now like, you've taken a turn of having this amount of cash. Now it's like you can go hire 15 A players right now to go and double down for the next one. And he's like, he always says, he's like, there's 3 things I look for in a company that's about to explode. Number 1, do you have access to capital?
Yeah.
And most businesses don't have a few $1 million sitting around ready to invest. And most businesses have some sort of debt, which we don't. Number 2, this is really interesting. Do your leaders have the ability to not only go one level of leadership up, but another level?
Wow.
Can they get out of the doing? It's fascinating. So we're talking a lot about that in my leadership team. Then the third thing is, do you have raving customers? And that was the easiest one. I was like, that one's check on that one. But yeah, I'm really studying now. Now I'm like, I mean, we most likely will be around 20 million in revenue this year.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, we are not a side hustle anymore. Like we are a button up enterprise now. So that's the transition for me as a leader. I'm not running a coaching business anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm learning all the new things of who I have to be, what I have to learn. It's happened a lot.
And not only are you just learning it, you're really learning it at a much rapid pace than the usual trajectory. So there's two ways I want to go. One is I want to talk about David Guillaume, because you actually introduced him to us at the Retreat Mastermind that we're both a part of. And what's fascinating, I actually did not know him before, and I've just fallen in love with his work. And the fact that he scaled $1 billion business and so, loudly talking about in partnership with Universal Laws, with Creator, and you've had the opportunity to work closely with him. What is something that really was maybe a new thought that he introduced to you that you have then implemented into your Scale Fast?
Certainty beyond logic. It's like the phrase that he keeps saying over and over again. And it's why I've made a lot of investments. So the number one objection I get to people investing in our 12-week AI program is they keep saying, what's the ROI? What's the ROI? And I smile at them because really no investment I've made over the last 3 years, I've thought about the ROI.
Yeah.
Let me give you. Kinsey, our COO, when I brought her in, could I afford her? No, I couldn't afford her. I knew it. I'm like, I can't afford you now, but I need you. And I know you're going to 10x the business. So I'm going to get you in before I'm ready, but I'm just going to bet on myself. I'm going to bet on us. Same exact thing happened with Carter. He was leading AI at a Fortune 500 company. Could I afford him? No, I had just done we did 1.4 million in 2024, 4 million in 2025, but I brought him in the middle of that 4 million. I wasn't even sure if we were going to do 4, and he was being paid a Fortune 500 salary, couldn't afford him. Was I sitting there running my little calculator of well, if Carter does X, maybe he'll blah, blah, blah. What the? No, I knew it's a quantum investment. And he's 10X the business since he came on. And that's how I've done every single thing. I'm paying $100,000 for one day with Alex Hormozy in June. What's the ROI of that? I mean, one paragraph that he gives me about he's scaled how many businesses to 100 million plus. He will see it right away. He'll be able to look at my business and be like, you need to double down here, and here. How many years is that going to save me?
Yeah.
So part of it, so David talks about this certainty beyond logic, and I use it in every single thing that I do. I had certainty that we are going to bring in as a company somewhere. I mean, I knew this year would be 10 million plus for sure. I didn't know it was going to be double that, but I was doing everything as if it had already happened. And that's the whole thing. What kind of leader do I need to be if that's the reality? What kind of money investment, what kind of fractional family office do I need to hire to prepare myself for the investments? I don't have the money yet, but I want to know what's going to happen when it does come, because it is coming. And I just had complete certainty. And I used the same thing to manifest my girlfriend, Nicole. I didn't know if she was I didn't know if that was ever going to work out, but I just had certainty beyond logic. It was her or better. And so I just acted as if it had already happened. And that's how I just live my life now.
Let's break this down, because the certainty, so it really is like a fucking muscle, because, we talk about, I'm just going to have faith, and then something happens, you get rejected, and that faith goes down the drain. You're like, fuck this faith, I'm going to make it happen. So is this something you cultivated over the years? Is this innately who you are? How can we start to build this muscle? Because it's truly felt when you say it. It's not just words, it's embodiment from you.
I think you have to, first and foremost, I believe our soul came here for lessons to be presented to us. That's just what I believe. That's also how David Guillaume teaches. That's a principle of Kabbalah. I'm in the middle of Many Lives, Many Masters, which is a phenomenal book about soul and rebirth of the soul. And so that's a philosophy that I subscribe to, and I find it to be very peaceful when really hard stuff happens. So, for example, the divorce happened. It was my first relationship. We'd been in a relationship for 12 years. I was not prepared for it, but because I had that basic knowledge and I learned it, it's like, no, that happened because I needed to be, my abandonment wound needed to be triggered.
Yeah.
And if it I could have never healed my abandonment wound. And obviously you're never 100% healed, but like working on it, I was going like at 90%. I collapsed time around healing it because I had to live alone and I had to be single and I had to go through that experience. Wow. So every time something hits, and I have scaling a business, are you kidding me? Every day. Last week in our Zoom was capped at 3,000 people. We had 2,000 people waiting to get in. We had 4,000 emails in a 24-hour period. Our team was not prepared. Our support ticket system broke. Our texting system broke. Our texting system, like, president is emailing us like, what is happening over there? Like, are you guys okay? I'm like, no, we're not. We're not okay. We are passing away in real time. But I was like, we're being triggered because Creator is actually exposing our weaknesses.
Yeah.
What a gift. All it is. Yeah, what a gift. Pause, what a pleasure. That's like what David keeps saying. Pause, what a pleasure that this is right now. We are not forcing ourselves into the next version of us. We are being pulled like a freaking magnet to the next version. And what a gift. You know how many companies would beg to be stress tested like that?
Yeah.
How would I have ever known? Did you know that Add Event, the little link that you click to add everything to your calendar, has a max amount of clicks and then they shut it down? I didn't know that. Did you know that? No one knew that. Guess what? I found out last week. They have a max amount of clicks. Are you effing kidding me? And the other thing I'm being exposed to is that a lot of our leaders have run their own businesses. And so they are always like tight on finances. So they're always trying to get a deal with every software company. Guess what? When you have a deal, guess who doesn't get the enterprise account? Guess who doesn't get the account executive? Guess who doesn't get 24/7 support? Us. Well, I didn't know that. Right. I had no idea what software account we're on. So I'm feeling passionate about it because I'm like, oh my God, like the amount of knowledge that I learned last week in that 7-day period.
Wow.
Years it would take for someone that's not going all in. And when people are like, oh my God, this is crazy. How is this happening? We are all in. Yeah. I mean, when I say all in, we've spent $1 million in ads over the last 20 days.
Wow.
$1 million. I think for most people, they're like scared, they're scared to spend their first 10K. And I get that. Obviously it trickles up, right?
Yeah.
I spent $90,000 on personal brand, learning how to do content, I don't know any of these things. And so I think if people kind of feel like it happened overnight in many ways, but we also have hired the best people in the world to facilitate this massive time collapse for sure.
Oh my goodness. And again, I'm an affiliate in this launch, so I'm behind the scenes. And the way you guys navigated that, there was quite a bit of negativity, which a lot of us seasoned leaders were like, what the fuck? Like, chill out, replays available. I was kind of angry for you. I was like,
Well, for those of you listening, our Facebook group, I mean, when you do a low ticket thing for $47, like you get in.
Yeah.
You just have to chalk it up to like some people just are not happy in their life and they are looking for any moment of negativity to get them, right? And so I was in the Facebook group, it's like, this is a scam. I'm like, oh boy, here it comes. And you know what I said? F it. Yeah. We're just going to do day one again. And so the next morning, I just did the whole thing over again live. It was the best decision ever. And a lot of people came twice and they were like, this is actually making sense more the second time. I'm like,
this is it. The way you guys navigated that with leadership and grace, and you literally said, okay, we messed up. The Zoom capped out. Let's do it again. And that shows, again, as a company and your leadership, incredible things. I have a client going through a PR crisis right now. And I used you as an example. I'm like, just come out and apologize and see where you can make it right. Because that's where you are tapping into those universal laws and forces, again, as you're fully supported when you're in integrity. So the listeners are probably like, okay, this is now a masterclass in like identity work. And you guys know what you come for in this show. But yes, I promise to bring you some AI. So where I'd love to go. So literally you were here exactly a year ago, May 2025, we recorded this first episode. You're back on this second time. I feel like we've lived a lifetime. The shifts that have happened in AI over the last, like 8 months since the first episode was released. So I'd love to dive into AI employees. That's something that you're teaching right now. So you guys scaled from 0 to 4.2 million in 18 months with a team of 7. And then every single human has their AI teams. Now, 2 parts. One, I'd love to talk about this, the AI employees and how it supports you as an organization. The disclaimer I also want to say is, like, talking to you in Tulum, it was so fascinating because you literally have the best of the best leaders in your organization. And like you mentioned earlier, you paid them before you were really ready to pay them because it was moving towards the vision in that way. So now we have this leadership team that's A players. Leadership team has AI employees. Break that down for us, because this seems like where we're going with AI. What else are you seeing right now that's going to be the future that we didn't talk about 8 months ago? And then we'll go from there.
Yes. So the first thing I want to outline is why I freaking love supporting my humans with AI employees.
Yep.
I want to just deliver a little bit of a framework. So Myron Golden has a framework called the 4 levels of value. And he talks about the 4 levels of value that humans bring to an organization and bring to the world. And every time you go up the ladder, you get more and more valuable. The lowest value that a human brings to the organization is level 1. It's called implementation, which is the doing. Those are the masons that are laying the bricks. They're doing the work. They're in the Excel spreadsheets. They're in the doing. That is the lowest level of value. Number 2 is unification, communication, organization, making sure people are on track. That's level 2. AI is starting to help there a little bit. Obviously, really in the level 1. Level 3 is inspiration. Influence. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on this podcast. I'm dropping frameworks. I'm inspiring people. That's great. Not my highest value, though. This is not the highest value of my time. The highest value of my time and any human's time is in imagination. It's in solving problems that have never been solved. It's in critical thinking. It is in intuition, feeling into something, connecting with a higher power, and seeing around a corner. The issue that we have in today's day and age, and truly forever, and when we look at some of the greatest thinkers and greatest creators of all time, Albert Einstein, Thomas Jefferson, they spent more than 50% of their time thinking. Thomas Jefferson specifically was walking. He did a lot of walks and a lot of thinking. So if we start with that as our underlying framework, what am I optimizing for inside of my organization? I'm optimizing for every single human to be working their way up into imagination and into having space to do problem solving, critical thinking. Let me give you an example. I have a friend. She's a marketing manager for a manufacturing company. She hates her job. She's responsible for the PowerPoint creations in the marketing department. Her job is 100% going to be augmented by AI. Yeah. Notice I said augmented. Did I say replaced? I did not say replaced. It's going to be augmented. For some people, their job is going to be replaced, and we'll talk about that. Yeah. So what's going to happen? If I was managing her, this is how I would do it. And I want, if you're a leader on this, you're a founder, if you have a team member, this is so important. You cannot come into your organization and say, use AI or die, which is what most people are doing right now. Why can't we do that? That's creating fear in the body. Yeah. Fear creates cortisol in the bloodstream. We're creating stress. We're creating inflammation. And I know you don't mean to do it, but that is the byproduct of you creating this level of fear. They have no idea why. They think it's, I use AI or I'm fired. And that's not really the reality. Mm. The reality in my organization is, let's take Nick, for example. He's my copywriter. Nick is responsible for email newsletters. He's responsible for every written word that comes out of this company. So whether that's our website, a sales page, a drip sequence after cart opens, the text messages that go out, he's responsible for oversight. Now, what would be in his last job, what was he probably doing? He was probably sitting, he was doing a lot of writing. Yep, you can't see us if you're listening to a podcast, but we're typing our little fingers like we're on our little keyboards. Type, doing a ton of creation, ton of writing. And he was delivering and doing a lot of the work. Okay. In this company, what his job is and his role, and he knows this in my organization, the rule is automating 70%, augmenting 70% of your role with AI every 12 months.
Wow.
That is how we earn our performance reviews. That's how we earn our bonuses. That's how we earn our KPIs. So what does that look like for Nick? So let me walk you through his AI employee. So an AI employee, just to be very clear, can be as simple as a repeatable prompt that freaking executes. A very, very good set of instructions. Like in my real estate days, I had a prompt that would take a raw CSV file and it would clean it. It would run a pivot table on it and it would turn it into a CSV that was ready for import into my client management system. Technically, that could be considered an AI employee because
right.
It is a full workflow of something a human would do. Is it still a little bit manual? Yes, but it's a trained set of instructions. So in some of the new things that have come out, there's a new thing inside of AI that's called a skill. It's available both in ChatGPT and in Claude. I'm so grateful they named it the same thing. I'm
yes.
like saying, can you imagine if it was like all these different names, like it's called a skill in both platforms. What a skill is, it's a saved set of instructions, and it is told exactly how to do something, what the rules are, what kind of formatting, what the output should be, all that. So Nick, under him, if you look at our org chart, you'll see Nick, underneath him, the first thing is his email newsletter writer. So this is a Claude skill that is trained on the last 100 emails that we have sent. It has all the emails, it has all of the data, what's working, what's not working, what email subject lines worked. And then it has all of the rules of the game for how our emails are supposed to be written. And there's a rule at the very top, and it says this email is not ready to be sent until there is a 90% chance that the reader will either forward it, save it, or screenshot it because of the deep amount of value that they have gotten from this email. Wow. In addition, if this email, the person reading this email should feel almost embarrassed that they got it for free because of how much value was given in the email.
Wow.
So this set of instructions is so baked. It's not, hey, you write email newsletters and you write 500 characters. It is intentionally, it's almost like a neuroscience event, like putting these skills together, because we're training it just like I would train a person. Yeah. So he has an email newsletter writer. He has a sales page writer, and it's trained not only on our sales pages, but on Russell Brunson's sales pages, on Cody's sales pages, on Amy Porterfield's sales pages. Those are all public. I've taken them and reverse engineered them of what they have done, what order things are in, what tone are they in, what voice do they have, what's the sequence of events, how many checkboxes. For Hormozi's launch, we reverse engineered every sales page he has and trained that skill on his $100 million launch sales page. And our employee knows all of it and it won't forget it. So now, we also have an employee that writes in my voice, and that one has taken me 12 to 15 hours to train. 12 to 15 hours to train my voice skill. People all the time are like, God, it's just not working. I'm like, well, have you tested it, tweaked it, trained it? Well, no. Like, that's the work. That is the work, and that's what most people are not doing. So underneath all the things, so he's working on all this, right? He's building his employees, he's training his employees, he's managing them, he's tweaking them. He learned something new. The LinkedIn algorithm changed 2 weeks ago. No one caught it. He knew it because he's following YouTube videos and he brings the transcripts of the YouTube updates into his employee and he's training it. Now, these employees sometimes also have access to our other apps. So that would be called a connected AI employee. In the boot camp, you went through it. There's different levels. And some of his AI employees run on a schedule. And those are the ones that we don't even touch. And that happens at the very end. So then what happens to Nick when his entire job is automated? The LinkedIn posts are being written and they're perfectly in my voice and they're updated with the LinkedIn algorithm. What happens when emails are being written? Well, first of all, where is this information coming from? They're coming from my transcripts. Yeah. So his job number one is making sure that he's extracting information out of me and getting me to dial in. So every week we meet for an hour and he interviews me and he just peppers me with questions and he gets my take, he gets my contrarian thoughts. That's the basis for all of our content. Number 2, what is the highest and best use of Nick's time? If he could have more time to think in imagination, he could be creating frameworks.
Yeah.
He could be thinking of intellectual property. He could be thinking of my South by Southwest keynote that I'm manifesting in the future. He could be my editor for my TED Talk. Like, that is, do we think that's more valuable than him writing the email newsletter this week?
Goosebumps.
And is he so fired up about that?
Yes. Let me ask you this. So this is brilliant. Does this apply for every industry? Are you seeing this? Yes.
It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care if you're a candlestick maker, a coffee roaster, a commercial fisherman. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you are using a computer. Like, I have one of my favorite examples is Jennifer. She's one of our clients. She runs a coffee roasting business. So she had a full-time job, invested her own money into Automate to Accelerate, arguably didn't have it, but was like, I need to do this because I want to build this side hustle. And one of her biggest pain points is every week she has her little high school employees sit at farmers markets and sell the coffee. And so after, she usually does a couple of weekends after, they get this long piece of paper with all these names and emails. So they would send her a photo, and it was good. Like, she would be able to take a picture of it and have ChatGPT like pull the emails out. But the emails were, sometimes the chat couldn't, notice that the emails were wrong. Even though the name was Jen Jackson, it would be like, oh, it's, Jen, whatever, with 2 N's Jackson, because they couldn't read it. And it's like, no, her name is Jen Jackson. Look at the name, so she built, first the thing she did is built a Claude skill that is able to actually read it and then challenge itself and critique itself to like clean the list. Then the other problem is she was getting emails that weren't actually verified. And so it was decreasing her email deliverability. So she connected that Claude skill to Never Bounce, which is a email cleaning app. Then the next thing is she needed to get it into her CRM, which is Klaviyo. And so she was doing all this manually. Like, in most people's eyes, they're like, I'm using AI. Yes. And they're like, oh, I know, I'm taking a picture. And then I got the thing, and then I download it, and then I upload it in Never Bounce, and then I download it, and then I put it in Klaviyo. She built a Claude skill where she now has an app, a Replit app, where she doesn't even deal with it. The people at the farmer's market log in, take a picture of the paper, and on the back end, the Claude skill pulls the emails off, sends it out to Never Bounce, cleans the list, and adds it all to Klaviyo and tags it with farmer's market, and she's not even involved anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So now the people that are like breathing, okay, yes, amazing. How? Let's talk about A2A, because, I've been in a lot of trainings, workshops, programs. Like, the way that you teach is, again, fucking genius. You are a genius. You know this. I tell you all the time. I'm like, you're fucking genius. The way your brain thinks. And my husband said it too. He's like, the way her brain works. I'm like, I know. It's amazing. So A2A, your 12-week accelerator, you literally teach us how to do this step by step. So for me, by the way, I love the replays because I can pause, implement, so forth. Eventually, I'd love to be in a space where okay, as a leader, I'll talk about my vision soon, but would you want me to continue being a part of the implementation of these things, or how, as a leader, do you stay involved? So say someone joins A2A, let's talk about A2A. And then I want to know, like, long-term, where am I in all of this?
I love it. So A2A stands for Automate to Accelerate. It is our 12-week AI architect training program. So I believe every human on the planet that uses a computer should be an AI architect. An AI architect is someone that can walk into any department or any business in the world, see problems and pain points and repetitive work, build AI systems, and train the AI systems so that they work without a human being involved. As a leader, this is so important. One of the 4 pillars of an AI-powered business is an AI-committed founder that is building their own AI employees on the fly. I do not believe there's a reality in which a founder or a leader is not staying up to date on this and actually able to build their own things. And here's why. If you want to continue to stay valuable in the middle of a meeting, let's say you're having a leadership meeting and you guys are struggling to see specific data. If you don't know what some of the best companies in the world are doing to see their data, what AI systems there are, you don't even need to know how to build them. I don't even need you to know how to build them. You just need to know what others are doing so that when you're sitting there, you have any sense of whether your team is solutioning properly or not. If you aren't even paying attention, how do you even know that this cool Excel doc, well, if you saw what we were doing in Replit and you saw the dashboards we were building, you'd be like, I think I saw Callan show like this gorgeous dashboard where it's like we could do like a calculator. Can we have one of those? And it's like, even just that is going to level your team up to the next level. So in a perfect world, yes, I would have you doing the clicking because you're going to be able to learn. And also, there's things you're doing every single day. I mean, setting up comp plans, preparing for performance reviews. And even just holding my team to the standard of like, I need all of my transcripts perfectly organized because at any moment I want to walk into AI and be able to prepare for a performance review. And I want to see every meeting I've had with this person for the last 3 months. I want to see their entire calendar exported and put on mine. I want to see the Slack messages we've had going back and forth. And I want to see their KPIs and their numbers. I don't need to know exactly how that data is getting into my AI, but I'm telling them my expectations because I know what I need to be able to do. So it's like, it would be almost like you are building a house and you've never explored other cool kitchens, but you're like going to the architect and you're like, I want a really good kitchen. And they're like, well, what kind of kitchen do you? And because before I did my remodel, I went into so many different mock kitchens. I did the Parade of Homes here in Minnesota, and I saw oh my God, that spice drawer that pulls out is so much easier to see. It's like, I don't know how to build the spice drawer, but I knew that was what I wanted. So that is number one. And then number two, the program, that's the whole idea is it's 12 weeks. And then every week I teach for about an hour. We take a little break and then we build. So I actually force your team to build, and a lot of people, and we go through the different departments. So the first 2 weeks are kind of getting our mind right. I teach the art of communication, the art of communicating with AI. Then we move into prompting and workspaces and business brains. Then we move into marketing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people give me pushback because they're like, well, I don't want my finance person building marketing stuff. I'm like, this is where you have it wrong. To become an AI architect, it requires reps.
Yeah.
And it requires practice. And I don't care if they're building marketing and they never use it. I want them to go through the process of using our content atomizer, which takes a transcript and turns it into social media content, because maybe they had a really great call with a potential vendor and they want to take that transcript and turn it into a proposal. Or turn it into a brief for the leadership team. It's the same flow. It's just a different example. And the more reps that I can get them practicing and trying, the more their brain's going to light up when they are running into a problem or an issue.
Everyone needs to be in this. Do you feel like, so let's say, so this will be my second exposure. You said about 70% from the fall cohort. Like it's what would you say? How different is, let's say, fall cohort to this year's spring cohort? We're talking like 6 months difference.
I would say I'd say the 50% foundation that will probably be 60% different. I mean, the flow of like, we always did marketing was called the brand area. We are doing the same thing, but now we have like pre-built Claude skills that we use on our side that we're going to be delivering to them. So now it's like, we used to have prompts that we would give, but now the actual Uncommon Business email newsletter skill of like what I've learned of what's working in email newsletters is going to be delivered. And so part of it that people don't understand, they're not just learning AI, they are getting the frameworks, the knowledge, the data that we have figured out in our business as a part of it. It's a business growth. I mean, you know this, but people don't understand it until they go through it. They're like, oh, this is a business training.
It's not.
experience. Yeah.
It's so really.
Horse is like, yeah, you're going to learn AI, but you're learning how to build a business like as a part of the experience.
Oh my gosh, totally. And the reason why I asked that question, it's more so a selfish question because I'm like, okay, this, like, I see it as something that we do each. And of course, as I move into building this company, like each 6 months, because it is moving so fast and you have to stay up to date. And one thing that, you know, Callan, I've talked to you about this. I'm like, you know, old dogs can't learn new tricks. One thing I've struggled with is like moving everything from chat to Claude. Okay, we talked about this. But also is like, I have already decided you are the only AI education company that I will ever learn from, and never say never, but like seriously, the way you teach. And I was like, I'm the type of person that when I have my go-to, like I am committed and devoted. And that's probably part of my star signs and my, you know, human design, but just the way you teach is so it's easy if we call it that in a world that is so AI world that is so fucking, I don't know.
That's what I'm very passionate about. I think there's so, you know, and I'm not sure if you're getting this on Instagram yet or TikTok or whatever, but you know, there's so many. We love our bros, we love our guys, but there's this subset of techie bros, I'll call them, that are spewing this like very technical speak and, you know, all the Cloud Code terminal with this and my agentic, blah blah blah, and I'm like, they're making it sound really complicated of what it is, and it's not. But you know, of course, there's you can integrate to other apps, but in the average lay person that has never integrated with, you know, let's just say you want, like right now in this moment, I have a Slack channel of every single person who has gone to the checkout page for Automate to Accelerate, but they didn't end up putting their credit card in. And that is being slacked to me. So it's called abandoned cart.
Yeah.
I just took the entire abandoned cart list and I put it inside of Claude Code. I am not a technical person. The reason why I use Claude Code is because it's just more powerful and it can just do a lot more. I wanted to see, so some of the data that I have is I have data, my entire CRM data. So I can see who's opened emails, who came to the boot camp, who's come to masterclass. And I just went into Claude Code and I was like, can you go into Go High Level? I don't even know how you'd go into Go High Level. Can you even go into Go High Level first and foremost? And it was like, yes, I can, but I need the API code. And I was like, can you talk to me like I'm 6 years old? I've never done this before. Where do I click? What do I do? Walk me through this. Hold my hand. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. And it was like, don't worry. Log into Go High Level, click on this button, and you get that long string of code that says API code and API key. I copied it. And it was like, make sure you get the read-only one because I don't want to do anything in there. I'm like, great point, read-only, okay. And I brought it in and it's like, wow, now I can see all 89,000 of your contacts. What do you want me to look for? And I was like, well, what do you think would be the best way that I could score these leads, hottest to coldest? Because I don't want us just to call everybody. I want to see the people that came to boot camp. And then also I was like, what other information would be cool? And it was like, well, do you have the Zoom chat transcript or the Zoom chat from your boot camp? Because then I could see who was actually writing in the Zoom chat and what they said. And I was like, I do, hang on. I'm like throwing it in there. And it's like, oh, by the way, did you know that you could export all of your Instagram followers out? And if they've liked your stuff, if they've commented on stories, if they've done this. I was like, no, I've never. It's like, let's do that too. Because then I can use that data and see who's warm. I was like, this is like, it's not technical.
No.
It's just creativity and resourcefulness.
This is it.
And it is believing that you have the power to do this, because the biggest thing is people not believing that they're technical enough. That used to be the case. That is what used to be true. And now it's, do you have the communication skill and the creativity to solve the problem that you're trying to solve?
This is gold. And I feel like it's a full circle moment because we talked about the 4 pillars. If we can literally allow ourselves the time and space to be in the zone of intuition, creativity, then this is where these ideas come from. And I see you as a mega creative human, and now you're leveraging the AI as a tool. And I feel like everyone listening to this pod is more marketing, is more creative, and they're obviously tapped into a higher source intuition. So I'm like, that's your role when we're playing with AI.
Those are the people that are using AI as an absolute infinite superpower.
Yes.
That's why I call in for people that got into A2A last week. We had a bonus of a private Zoom session with David Guillaume. Like that was my bonus. Why? Because I want to deter people out of my program that don't feel some little level of spiritual, not because I don't judge them at all, but that level of spirituality means there's some sort of metacognition happening in their mind. What does that mean? Metacognition is thinking about your thinking. And when you walk into AI, the number one skill that is going to set you apart from everyone else to get the best results is before you start typing and before you start prompting is thinking about your thinking. What do I actually want to get done right now? What is my actual pain? What is my actual problem? What do I deeply desire? What do I know right now that AI should know? How do I feel in my body about this situation? I'm not kidding you. If you start to tell AI, this is how I'm feeling right now, I'm feeling nervous about this, worried about this, anxious about this, and this is why I'm calling in people that have done personal development work. They can feel into their own body, they're sensing emotions, because if you can, AI is going to be able to serve you at such a higher level because you're able to actually communicate what's happening in your world. If you come in and you're like, build me a lead magnet for my website. Or who, for what do you want it to do? Why do you want it? What's the problem? What's the pain? It has no idea. But because AI wants to make you happy, it's just going to build you a random thing. And then you're going to come back and you're going to be like, this is terrible.
Wow.
Why is it terrible? Because you don't know how to communicate with it yet. And it's just a training thing.
This is it. Everyone, I feel like everyone needs to put into their budgets that this is something that you do A2A once a year. Twice a year, bring your teams through it. It's like literally a non-negotiable. Okay, I'm really fucking scared. And this is how I push my growth edges. So I'm going to do something that I've never done before, but I have an ask of you and I'm going to do it publicly because I have been praying on this, manifesting this for months. My husband's like, you're fucking crazy that you're going to do this, but I'm going to do it. So, I'm building out a vision of a $1 billion pickleball brand. And through our conversations, my goal is to create it as the first ever AI powered sports company. And on my vision board, I have Callan Faulkner as an advisor on the board of advisors for Maya Pickleball. So my live bold ask is, would you review the pitch deck and see how that feels for you in exchange for equity?
Love to review the pitch deck. I would love to.
Okay.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yes.
So I'm on
my of actually having equity in powerful, spiritual-led, badass companies in exchange for AI-powered backend. Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna cry.
That would be
I'm gonna cry.
So fun.
And I
do it. I mean, trust me, Tulum, I was like, people are like, are you guys okay? Because we'd be over in the corner and we're like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? We're going to build this. I would love to review it.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing.
And I just want to dissect this. So people have called me like an audacious asker. And I just really want women to feel this. Like, one, I'm going to cry. Two, I did it. So I pushed my growth edge to do this live for you guys to show you that this works. And so like, go after your big, bold fucking asks because... But what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, I never know. And this is going to be a very successful company. So it's going to be a win-win for all of us. It's going to be amazing.
Okay. And just to close off, so I do love to give and ask in equal proportion. How can we support you, Callan? Like, give us your big asks. Give us one for me, one for the community, because what you're doing is truly revolutionary.
Guys, I would love for you to follow me on Instagram and come to one of my trainings. Bring your mom, bring your sister. I do a lot of free stuff. We have, we'll probably start our free stuff up back again in like the June, July timeframe. But in the meantime, just follow me on Instagram. You can sign up for our email newsletter, but Instagram, you're gonna see all the things and just pay attention and start playing around with AI. Tell people, the other thing, I know we haven't talked about the environment, but that's the biggest thing I hear. And there are these people that are just, they're so anti-AI, and it happens every time there's a new technological revolution. The 350 conversations with ChatGPT is the same energy usage as 1 hour of Netflix watching.
Yeah.
And so what is the devil here? Obviously, we have an energy usage issue in our country. 100%. I am not person to shove that under the rug, and I am a big proponent, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. But what I'm also really passionate about is level setting what the enemy is.
Yeah.
And I'm also really passionate that I don't know where AI is going, and believe it or not, I have zero control over where it's going. There is so much light inside of AI for good. And what we don't understand too is AI being used inside of supply chain, transportation, manufacturing. The projections that we're looking at right now, we are going to save so much energy because of the efficiency that it's going to be equivalent of taking 1 billion cars off the road in the next 5 years.
Wow.
Because of the power of what this is creating. And I know there's a lot of people out there, and I what I don't agree with, of course, is like there are monopolies being created between OpenAI and Anthropic and these massive AI companies. I don't like where that is headed. I have zero, I keep saying I have zero control. Now that I'm in this quantum leap, maybe I do have a little bit more power than I think. Maybe this is kind of my next level, is like getting more involved in AI legislation and like really becoming more of a outspoken person about this. But I just want to make a call out to, I know there's a lot of maybe parents that even have like younger kids that are just very against AI, is educating them truly on the reality of it. And we are in a window of some very serious micro wealth creation for people that have never believed they could accumulate wealth. And I really believe that investing in this skill set is like investing in Bitcoin in 2010. Because most people just won't do it. And like I said, I don't know if I said this on the podcast, it takes 40 to 60 hours to become an AI architect. Most people won't take the time. Wow. And that's the best part for us, because we will, and you already have, and you're already doing it. And we just have an advantage. So let's use it. Let's create light. Let's create a lot more light out of it.
So like goosebumps and mic drops. So by like being in your world, we are becoming AI architects.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. You'll become an AI architect inside of Automate to Accelerate, even if you only come to like 50% of the classes.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. I just want to know one last thing. How are you celebrating this epic launch? We talk about celebration and fun and disconnection.
Yeah. I'm flying my team into Minneapolis on Sunday. So everyone's coming. We rented this massive house. I've got private chefs and IV drips. We got surprises up our sleeve. Nicole's planning the whole thing. So we're all going to be together with on cart close next Friday. So that's going to be just so much fun. We're going to do dinners and all sorts of celebrations. And then my birthday's on May 16th. So Nicole has some plans, and I took a couple days off. It's like a big arts festival here. We're going to go to the Charlie Puth concert, dinner with the girlfriends. So honestly, and we have a big Italy trip planned for September. So that's where we're like, we're going to ball out. We are going. If you see us in Puglia, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You were not there. We are going to be drinking some wine and just enjoying life. We're super excited. And we are upgrading to Delta 1, or Delta, the lay down bed. That was a wait.
Yes.
We're doing the lay down bed. Okay. That's non-negotiable now. I'm a lay down bed international traveler. Anyone that has a hookup to Delta 360, by the way, have you heard about this program? No. Delta 360. So it's this invite-only program. This is my ask.
Love it. And put the volume up. We got to support Callan with her ask.
Guys, this is an insane program. So it's invite-only. So all my business cards now are Delta, because I'm just like, I need them to see me. So this is what happens for when you're in this program. So I traveled with David Guillaume a few months ago. So we show up at the airport. You go to a custom Sky Club lounge that's not even regular. They have their own security. So you don't go through regular security. You go through little security. You're chilling, hanging out. For this one, we went to the regular gate. Then when you get off the plane at your destination, you don't go off the plane regular. You know that little stairs that goes down when you like check a bag? You go down the stairs. There's a Porsche waiting for you. And then the Porsche grabs your bag from the little bag area. You like spin around to the other side of the plane, grab your bag. And the Porsche drives you off of the tarmac to your destination.
What?
You never walk through there.
That's like private jet style.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I can get the private jet experience without having to pay for private jets, I need that immediately. So anyone that has any sort of understanding of Delta 360, hit me up. We can do a trade. But I'm like, that is my next like big manifestation. Is I get invited to Delta 360.
I'm on this. I'm gonna figure this out for you, girl. I am so committed.
Come on.
You are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And everyone, run. Well, this is going to launch. So run to the fall A2A registration link. Get your booty on the wait list, and we want to see you in there. Thank you, Callan.
So good, Anna.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode of the Prosperity Playground podcast. If this conversation sparked something in you, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts so you never miss your weekly activation. If you enjoyed the conversation, please rate and review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls just like you who are ready to calibrate to their most prosperous life. Know someone who needs this frequency boost? Share the episode to Instagram and tag me at _Anna Lozano so we can grow our energetically aligned community together. And please remember, true prosperity is about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth. Start today. I'm Anna Lozano, and this is the Prosperity Playground. See you on the next activation.